hopefully there won't be any more shenanigans. So, hello everyone, welcome to the stream. It's anybody who is watching the VOD. So yes, to explain that very interesting start. So we are now smack on 8 o'clock, which is rather excellent. But usually I tend to use the first few minutes to set things up. But for whatever reason, my tablet gave me a notice to say that I had lost Wi-Fi connection. That's never fun. That's not what you need. Right. So now I need to redo this whole setup phase. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long. So what I was saying before the thing cut off, the stream I should say, so I'm starting to feel a bit more hunched back recently because I'm finally off my temporary work schedule, which I'll get into in a moment when more people arrive. So me sat up normally looks like this. I'm a bit of an angle because of course I got the angled ceiling. So in order for me to be a bit more in shot, I'm leaning forward to make sure you can hear me. I'm kind of hunched over a little bit. Not the most uncomfortable thing ever, but it should be better. It can be more ideal. It was more ideal when the bed was positioned here and I actually had a chair. That was way more comfortable. Ooh. If you heard that beeping noise just now, that's basically my battery's recharged. So I can undo that. Cool. Freshly charged batteries and they're nice and warm. Need to give them a moment to cool down. Maybe after the stream I'll put them back into the coaches. So those are AAA batteries recharged for the coaches for the Blue Goose. This isn't so much a spoiler because I have shown this already on Discord. So unique updates to the Blue Goose were posted on the update section in my Discord server. So if you haven't joined my Discord server already, there is a link at the top of the description of the stream for you to go and do so. There's a lot of like-minded fans of Lego trains, and I've been showing you, well, more so drip feeding some work in progress bits of the Blue Goose. And it's going lovely because I've got something else to show you in regards to the Blue Goose later on. Right. Oh yes, I need to update the stream name as well. Finally, back to my Lego projects. Sure, that'll do. I can get rid of that one. I can get rid of that one. Open up that one. Hello, RK. Hello, internet peoples. Indeed, good to see you. Glad you're able to make it to the stream. It's always quite cool to see people make it to the stream before I do the Discord ping. And so title there. That's all there. That's all there. Okay, cool. Let's do the ping. Right, everyone. Live now. And we have 213 people in the Discord server as of today. Ping done. Lovely. And we have 4 people watching already. Okay then. Oh, this is going to be a very interesting stream. I've got a couple of things to show off. Some things I can't quite show off, but I've also been able to do that about half an hour ago through other means by posting online. Hello, Josh. Good to see you. Glad to. It's really cool that you tune into these streams. I mean, we text regularly anyway, but the fact that you show up for this is kind of weird. Like cool weird, but you know, it's because I've known you for years. That's all. Right. Let's give it another moment. So, since we got more people coming on in, I will redo this thing. I'll tell you what. Let me do it properly, because now, well, the batteries I've recharged. These are still warm, but it's not going to be the end of the world. Freshly charged AAA batteries. Going to go back into these battery boxes. These good old power function ones. Everything I have now has rechargeable ones because that ultimately saves me some money. Expensive to begin with, but works in the long term. So I can put these back in there. I'm still using powered coaches as well. These coaches in particular are ones for the Blue Goose. I keep saying that in a weird way. I need to slow down a bit. These are the coaches for the Blue Goose. There we go. The Santa Fe streamlined passenger service from the 30s. The only Steam streamlined passenger service that the Santa Fe had, which is interesting, you know, fair enough. They kind of focus on their more famous diesels nowadays. But I need the roofs. So yeah, building this up was actually really fun. And the last thing I've been able to build up for this project is the box, which I'm going to be showing you in a moment. But if you haven't joined my Discord server, then first of all, I strongly recommend you do so. It is in the top of the description. If it's not there, then just click out of the stream, then come back, and you will see that the description has updated. If it hasn't done so automatically, I don't know if it does that with YouTube. I don't know. But just to show you one of the 4 coaches to anybody who hasn't seen it already, because all of the updates for the Blue Goose were posted in the Discord server. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty long. Yes, the coaches are this long. Yes, the windows are supposed to be that small. And yes, it really does look like this. Lots of white bricks as well. You know, the white, light grey, and the blue. Very interesting color combination. So this is one of 4 coaches that I have built. In time, I reckon I'm going to make some more coaches. Don't quote me because I don't know how easy that's going to be. But yeah, it's really good to, you know, have a new dedicated Express on my layout. Because the Coronation Express, the Coronation Scott, I should say, for the longest time, I never called it by its full name. It's the Coronation Scott. But because I say it so many times, I just call it Coronation. And sometimes in text chats, mainly with the LUKR guys, I just type Coro because it's quicker to type. It reminds me of when I typed it for the first time, just calling it Coro. There were a few people like, "What do you want about? What's that? What train is that?" It's Coronation, just, you know, shorter, like the first 4 letters. Oh, and yeah, it was pretty good. So there's 2 of the 4 coaches over there. I'm gonna actually put that to a side later on. Actually, I should do that now before yeah, let me do that now before we get a repeat of the Hogwarts Express. We can never let that happen again. We have 6 people live on the stream. Hello, RK. I see your message. I will be with you momentarily. I had to be careful. I had to be careful how I position myself just then, because I'm pretty sure you didn't want to see my rear end. Right. Anyways, coaches. Ooh, coaches. Ooh. There we are. There and there. There we go. Back up front with the magical potion of loveliness. There we go. That's all depleted. And everyone is showing up. Mike's Bricks. Hello, Micah. Good to see you again. Cough, cough, 7 wide. Those were the old days. You know, it's you need to see the lights, you know. Right, okay, what did you say earlier? Hey, look, I have an idea. You could make some matching coaches for your Spencer mock and call it the Silver Jubilee. That was the idea a while back when I was looking at what new passenger express sets I wanted to make. There were a number of people who suggested, you know, because I got Spencer as an A4, make the matching Silver Jubilee coaches to go with it. And I still think one day I will ultimately do that. I don't really have the dedicated time for that at the moment. Eventually it will be made because, you know, it's right there for it. Spencer is built up as Spencer, not well, as an A4 and not Spencer. Yes, it's that livery, but you know, works both ways still. So yeah, it can still work, but I need to kind of get myself ready for it. Basically, I'm not quite inspired enough to want to go for it. I think again it might ultimately still happen. Technically, the Blue Goose is my 3rd express because again I've got the Coronation Scott, I've got Stevenson's Rocket with its 3 dedicated coaches. Now I've got the Blue Goose, and yeah, Spencer and the Silver Jubilee. Inevitably, it will. And instead of remembering Alamo, remember the Hogwarts Express. Yeah. Hello, Seth. Good to see you. Glad you were able to make it to the stream. Let me move forward a bit. Hang on. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's a bit more comfortable. My back is already hurting. 24 years old. That's old man status right there. Right. So there's a few things to talk about. First of all, what do we go for? Let's go with tomorrow's video. So yesterday I uploaded the latest video for the Triton Lego Rowie Community Challenge and Showcase, which was a new era of giants. And 8 models were submitted, and genuinely I did not think we were going to get 8 models because of how big the models are supposed to be, as per the specifications. I didn't think it would work. Genuinely, I thought we maybe get 3 or 4. 4 if I'm lucky, 3 if people cared enough to enter. But we got 8 models, so yes, that's so cool. So thank you so much to everybody who took part. Oh, there we go. I can't fight that burp any longer. That's a thing as well. That's a compilation that needs to happen. If anybody cares enough to go through all of the streams I've done, this is stream number 30 as well. That's incredible. We are beyond the half a year mark. Well, technically we've gone past that anyway because the first stream was back in January, I believe. So a year of these live streams, there will be a celebration of some kind. If I have to try and line up the actual day, I don't know if it'll be possible. Let's do that right now. What was the first day I did a live stream? Yeah, this is stream number 30. If you look in the title, it says Luke Triton Live, number 30. It's been, yeah, it's quite insane. Right, when was the first live stream? I nearly said Dragonborn. He was the first Dragonborn. I still can't play Skyrim. My PC is still not strong enough. Skyrim still crashes. Sad times. Right, the first stream was on the 22nd of January. So using the power of technology, going forward, the 22nd of January is a Sunday! Oh my god, I can actually do a 1-year anniversary stream on a day where I'm hopefully not working. Oh, that's good. Okay, cool. That's really cool. What about the Daylight Express? Okay, so there were loads of express sets that were suggested. I made a post a few months ago. Let me have a look at the let me read the post because this is quite interesting as well. We'll get back to the other things I want to talk about in a moment. The community challenge, that's basically done. Once again, if you haven't seen the latest video for the community challenge and showcase, that went up yesterday, and all of the details for the new theme are on the Discord server. And the theme is, spooky, scary month. How creative, right? I mean, what else would it be for October? Anyways, let's see where it was. We've got quite a few posts to go through. If my PC can load it all up in time. Since I'm going through my posts, and I mentioned the community challenge just now, I still think it's really cool that somebody made a Pennsylvanian S1 to enter. That's really cool. So here we go. So another post for ideas and assistance. If there's anything I love when it comes to LEGO trains, it's streamlined tender engines and the Art Deco 1930s. And it's still the case because it's beautiful. So yeah, for the longest time, that Coronation Scott was the only proper train set I had. It's the only engine and matching coaches I had. I've had the Metroliner coach. I do still have the Metroliner coaches. They're still built up, but I've ripped the motors and power units from them for my Blue Goose instead. I still got the Metroliner and the other 2 other colored Coronation engines as well. So next weekend, when I'm away, that's something else I need to talk about. Having the comparison of all of them there will be very cool and interesting. Anyway, back to this post. It basically says, I want to make another dedicated, streamlined steam train with its own matching coaches. Whether it's based in the UK or US, it doesn't really matter. Just so long it has, it's a streamlined steam engine, matching coaches, ideally Art Deco style, but that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. And yeah, we can just go from there. And the one I started off with was one that I found so fascinating, the Rexel $1 Million Train. I saw the document, well, it wasn't a documentary, but someone on YouTube made a video about this train, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I think in time I might still make this because the idea behind it, it's $1 million show on wheels. and it's so 1930s. That's why it's so cool. But yeah, I started looking at loads of other streamlined train services from the UK and the US. Obviously, Silver Jubilee came to mind. I looked at a load of the videos that was on the YouTube channel Eric's Trains, because I've been subscribed to him. Well, I am subscribed. This isn't one of those cases where is it? Yes, it is. Okay, yeah. So Eric's Trains. This is one of the cases where I'm not subscribed to him, but I'll come back to his channel every week or so to kind of see what he's doing. Um, but yeah, though he's posted videos of dedicated sets that I'm after. Again, like the Blue Goose, like the 20th Century Limited, and those are ideas that kind of just expanded from there. I think one is the Lehigh Valley. I think that's what it's called. Again, it's American, so I'm not too sure. But the engine itself had a beautiful design. There were matching coaches for it, and that very nearly became the next model. It's black and red, which is really cool. I think some white elements in there as well, which again looks brilliant. And it was very tempting to do that, but ultimately, yeah, just things settled on the Blue Goose. The what's it called? The Silver Jubilee is probably still going to be built, but again, I need to be inspired enough for it. I settled on the Blue Goose because I thought, you know what, new colors, different engine design. I'm in. You know, let's do it. So stuff like the Daylights, the Lehigh Valley, Silver Jubilee, they're all brilliant models, and I think the Daylight in particular. I don't know if I want to do that one because there's a fair whack of them out there that people have made in Lego form. That if I were to make my own version, I don't think I would be satisfied. So, yeah, I think ultimately the Daylight is again, it's a lovely looking Express, but yeah, how good was the Daylight contest entered in Brick Train Awards? It looks brilliant. That was one of my favorites. When we did the so when the LUKR did their podcast a few weeks ago, of which I was a part of, you know, go check it out. But when we did that podcast, we got to a section where we were talking about our favorite entries, and the Daylight contest was one of them. I think in the last week or so, someone has also been entering there. I think it's from the Daylight Express. I'm not familiar with it, so I might be a bit inaccurate. But you can only have 3 models entered per category, and somebody entered 3 separate coaches from their Daylight Express into the categories, and I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, it's one of those models that you can see that so many people have done, and those people have done really well. I don't think I would be able to build the Daylight Express to those kind of same standards. It's not really my sort of thing, anyways. I'm not too keen on the overall design. The colors make it look amazing, but I don't need to do one. It's not for me. But all the same, though, it's really good, really good. An A4 coronation? No, those are you put those 2 things together, and there will be an explosion. I was very tempted to do a coronation, a streamlined coronation, in a bunch of different liveries. So when I made the white and silver line model, that kind of kickstarted the idea of, okay, let's try and make a few more. Then the black and gold one was made, then the Metroliner one was made, and I had a list. Well, I don't have the list anymore because it's been deleted since. But there was a whole list of liveries that could work based on some of the parts that were available. So I was going to do an orange and blue one and have Iron Brew across the tender instead of TLR. I was going to do one in pink and other shades of pink as a way of kind of doing I think it was specifically a breast cancer research themed locomotive. But something like, again, a specific livery but goes with something. That's why I wanted to do it. I was going to do one in, I think I was going to do one in yellow. I think there was going to be one in yellow where it had blue and red with it, and it was going to have the Star Tugs. Uh, what was it, like Star Tug and Marine? I think it's called in the actual show, not the Star Tugs Trust. Sod them, the actual tug company in the show. Basically, that logo would be on the tender, again, in the place where TLR would be placed. And another one I remember doing, or at least writing down as an idea, was one in green with the appropriate white and black band lining across the boiler as if it was painted in LNER colors. And I really liked the idea of that, but ultimately none of these models came to be. And the frustrating thing now is I I've got a Coronation Scots in 8 wide, and that's the better model. The other three are still 7 wide. I'm not going to upgrade them because I can't be bothered to, but if I were to make any more, or eventually in time, if I have enough money to upgrade them, then further ones down the line will be in 8 studs wide. So, yeah, that was a very interesting time where I had all those ideas written down. It's one of those things where I've got ideas. Let me just write it down. Nothing may come to it, but at least I've got it noted down, basically, and that was pretty good. Right, so the community challenge is done. The discussion in regards to the new Streamlined Express, that's done. RK, he says, here's an idea. Streamline Gordon with Northwestern coaches. So I have one Northwest coach, or a Northwestern Railway coach. I would like to try and do Streamline Gordon one day, but I cannot figure out light blue parts. There's about 5 different shades of light blue, and some of the shades of light blue don't have the particular color, or rather the particular shape of part that I would need for that model. I would love to be able to do a Streamline Gordon with the sort of blue coaches he was rewarded with in like it was an old episode, I think, from late classic or early hit era. I can't remember which one it was, but basically, it was a blue coach with an orange stripe going along near the bottom. I think white or light grey roof. They looked really good, and those would be the coaches I would make. It'd be nice to have a proper blue solid coach. I think that would look really good. But more so, I want to make Streamlined Gordon. But I remember, this actually reminds me. Went shopping earlier today to grab a few bits, and even just now, and also early this morning when I went shopping, was a sticker sheet that had stars on it, like some chrome gold, chrome blue, chrome red, and chrome silver. Just a few arbitrary colors, but it had silver stars on it, and I thought to myself, that's the star decal I need for Shooting Star Streamlined Gordon. So it really is possible. But again, I still cannot get my head around light blue because I've never had to really build in light blue before, which is why I stuck to normal blue with the blue goose. Now, I do want to still try and make Streamlined Gordon, but the only way I can really figure it out is if I just have if I have a menu, basically a physical menu of every brick that comes in the 5 shades of light blue, so I can figure out and get what I need, then and only then I will go ahead with it. I tried to do that with Bricklink because there is a way of going onto Bricklink and looking at all the parts available in a particular color, but the frustrating thing is the bricks aren't shown, like the image of the brick isn't shown in the color you're asking for. So even as a digital render, they're not helping you out there. And the layout is it's not favorable. Again, I need to try and figure things out. Eventually I will build it because Streamline Gordon was a model I wanted to make, bloody hell, a long time ago. It wasn't that long after I started making the first batch of Thomas characters in Lego. So when I built Gordon, Henry, James, and Edward, I thought to myself, okay, I got them. And there are a couple of other characters I want to make, but it wasn't long after that where I thought, Streamline Gordon would be a very cool model to have. It'd be very unique. I could really go for it. Kind of take advantage of not building it in the same scale I've done with my other ones. Make it 8 wide, use larger drive wheels, give it a proper good go at it, and I reckon it could work. It's just, again, The color is, yeah, the color is not good. One day, one day. Chat is going. Let's see what chat have been saying. So Josh says classic era Thomas was my childhood, as was mine. I think actually no, I think I was a bit too young for classic specifically. I think I grew up watching the hit era because I was born in 1998. I'm 24 at the moment, so yeah. Again, old man status right here. But I definitely remember being shown classic Thomas because, well, classic's classic, you know. It was a bad hit era episode, but the characters were quite nice. Yeah, exactly. It was a good look. I'd say the best color for that one is bright sky blue. I think that was the one because I remember asking other people about what shade of light blue would I need to use for certain models. Like, again, for the Blue Goose, I did the research and I tried to say to people, like, what's the most common shade of light blue? And everyone said, I'm pretty sure the most common answer at least was bright sky blue. I'll have to, yeah, more work needs to be done. I remember one time in Brickling, someone was selling individual studs for $15. Well, yeah, there are people out there. And the one I watched was when George Carlin and Alec Baldwin narrated. Alec Baldwin was a narrator? Interesting. I don't know what selection of episodes Alec would have narrated, but fair enough, I guess. Right, moving onwards. Since I keep mentioning the Blue Goose, it's time for something else for me to show you. Exciting stuff. So, for the past 3 weeks, my work schedule has changed, or had changed. I'm going back to normal tomorrow onwards. So basically, my job is part-time and I work in the evenings, which means I get the day to myself. And with the day being free, I get all that time to build my Lego trains. And given the current living situation, I'm still living with my parents. I'm never going to be able to afford to move out anytime soon. So I could be a bit more free with my disposable income and again spend Lego. That's the only thing I'm a bit careless with, but at the same time I am still keeping tabs on everything. But when it came to making the Blue Goose, I thought, okay, the Coronation Scott has its own dedicated box with foam padding and layers, and it's professionally looked after. It's not just wrapped in bubble wrap and put in a box with a bunch of other trains. This is basically the box I've made to put the Blue Goose in. I have to move backwards because it's a big box. Ta-da! I have to move my head. I don't know if you can hear me when I'm like this because there's basically a big wall in the way. But yes, the box itself, if I squeeze, this is gonna look so stupid. So basically, this is the box, and just like with the Coronation Scots box, that box is red. It has a few, what would you call it? Some decal images. Basically, it's detailed on one side to look like the side of a coach of the Coronation Scots Express, and this is basically the same thing. So this is what if I grab the tender, right? So this is the box. White on top, blue on the bottom, and silver going across the middle. It's hollow on the inside, by the way. I still need to get a few more parts tomorrow. Okay. And I know nobody ever asked this, but yes, I really do make a bunch of noises, a bunch of groaning noises when I get up, sit down, grab something, because again, old man. So if I grab the tender of the Blue Goose, again, if you haven't seen any updates on this model, go to my Discord server and go to the updates tab, because that's where everything has been shown. It was an exclusive update thing I wanted to try with Discord to encourage more people to join the server. And I would ultimately say it worked because we have had a burp, pardon me. We have had a few more people join the server in recent weeks. But yeah, this is the tender, and this is what it looks like. And it carries over, if you saw the coaches earlier, it basically carries the same livery. White on top, blue on the bottom, and a silver stripe going across the middle. It's a silver stripe for the tender and the boiler. I think it's silver or like a chrome, well, I wouldn't say chrome, but more silver for the coaches as well. But for the coaches, I have just done that with light grey. If I try and line it, it's going to be hell. So we're not doing that. So that's, again, it's the design aspect that kind of shows that off. And again, if anybody hasn't seen the tender, it's an oil burning tender as well. It's so different. This was one of the most fascinating things about this express set that made me want to make it. No more massive coal bed this time. It's covered, it burns oil, and that's cool. I love that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Right, that's back on the track. Oh. Yes, RK, that is one mighty box. It's very similar in size to the one for the Coronation Scott, but it's technically smaller. It's a bit longer because the foam pads for or the inserts rather, for the Coronation box is 50 by 50, it's a square. But for this one, it's 30 by 60. So it's thinner one way, but longer in another way. So yeah, I think ultimately this one is a smaller box, but who cares, right? Seth also says, Seth also says, I really do need to slow down with my talking. I do apologize. Now that the Brick Train Awards are over, what are your favorite entries in all the categories? We could have a look. We will do that in a moment. But before we move on to that, I want to quickly say that this is the last thing I wanted to talk about before we move on to this. Let me go back to... Oh, hang on. Okay, good. I may as well get rid of that. That's fine. Right. Before we carry on to the Brick Train Awards, first of all, this Wednesday, the winners will be announced either through our club podcast or through Brick Model Railroaders podcast. I'm not too sure how the process is going to be done. There will be a video of some kind announcing the winners. It won't be a post, but chances are there will be a post as well. But yes, the winners should be announced this Wednesday. But in terms of other stuff that would be kind of relevant to the moment, one thing I was very tempted to do was to add a picture of my current projects in the end of the last community challenge video. So for that theme for September 2022, it was a new era of giants. It was just a name for the theme. It was a way of kind of displaying, okay, these are the models you need to make. And as I was going through the editing process, I looked down at the two models I've got here and I thought to myself, should I include them in the video? Just as one quick picture at the end, as if it was my own submission, just to kind of, well, for the sake of stylizing it in the video. Do I do it that way? Could I just, I could do something to tease what I've been building recently, but ultimately chose not to. And I reckon about an hour ago now, I did a post on basically all my socials. It's in Discord, it's on Flickr, it's on my Instagram. I've posted it here on YouTube. And it's basically me saying that my latest models have been finished. Again, I'm looking at them right now. They're both lined, they're both sorted, they both look wonderful. And the caption I made with those posts says it for me. So, yeah. Have another look at it, think about it, and be ready for something special. Okay, then. Now we can move on to... Sorry, I just saw a notification come up on my tablet. Nothing to worry about. So, can we... If I click on this, does it show all the submissions? 2022 entries. Yes, it does. Aha, okay. Right. Quick apology now, because obviously this is not good. Brighter screen, darker screen. Brick Train Awards uses dark blue as its main color. It's not going to be the most easiest, not the most, words! Can't use them properly. Basically, this is what you're going to be looking at for the next half an hour or so, okay? I need to go to bed. Oh, 3 weeks of hard work. It's exhausting, I'll tell you something. Right, so who was it that suggested this earlier? It was Seth. So, following what Seth said, we're going to have a look at all of the entries in the Brick Train Awards. There were a few that I spotlighted when we did the discussion podcast a few weeks ago, with the LUKR, that is. So I'm going to go through each of the categories and just point out a few. So there's about 10 submissions per page, so this is going to take a while. But straight away, Coast Daylight by Michael Uruzzi from America. That's not the first daylight we're going to see, but this one looks unbelievably good. The white outlining between the colors, it's beautiful. And this is the particular model builder, I should say, who entered the coaches individually for the best wagon category. My brain is starting to go, in case it wasn't that obvious. Another one, since it's right here, the Shining Wolf usage. Shining Wolf? Basically, this is something I discovered about, I don't know, a couple of months ago. How many people here know of the YouTube channel Train of Thought? Let's go from there. He did a video where he talked about a wagon that was specially made with a massive hook on it to dig up, or rather tear up, tracks as it was going backwards. That's what this special wagon is, and that is so funky and unique, and I love it. There was another one that I saw. Let me try and find it, because the person who entered this particular contest entered it in the TLR Awards. Josh, never heard of him. Train of Thought, you mean, like the YouTuber? It's basically like a weekly show. He's doing a thing where every day in October he's doing a horror story themed video for all of October. Just look up Train of Thought. Watch a few videos. You'll have grand time. His videos are like 3 minutes long, so you can literally binge his entire channel in a day. He's really good. Anyway, back to this. Gareth Ellis as well, with his Intercity 125 HST. He's an American builder who builds British. Oh yeah, love it. But that is not the one I want to particularly talk about. It might be a while until I find him. But I really want to give this guy a shout out, because I just found my builders. So I have also entered the best consist as well. My Santa Fe Blue Goose and the LMS Coronation Scott. Not the best pictures ever, but it was as clean as I can make it. They have been entered in the best consist as well. I very much doubt I'm going to win, just because of the pictures alone. But yeah, I never win anything anyway, so it's fine. But yes, this one guy that I'm still trying to find. Come on, where are you? So we're getting it. So there's the other daylight submission that I spotlighted during the podcast a few weeks ago. Rather lovely. Well, you can't see it, but I can see it on here. It's a shame I can't really show you either, because again, this is a very simple setup. But as I'm trying to find, how early on did he enter it? Oh, there's my third one with Stevenson's Rocket and the coaches. Did he not enter it as a contest? That's interesting. Best theme. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll look at a few. I'll go through a few categories. Best passenger. Let's have a look at best T4 locomotive, because T4s really do surprise you. Okay. Pardon me. Ooh, GI today. So there is the individual Southern Pacific 4449 engine itself by Michael, that I mentioned earlier. Again, the white outlining really sells it. Spectacular stuff. There's going to be so many models to have to go through. But the best steam locomotive category is always the one that gets the most submissions. I saw that there. So Seth says, I Love the Blue Goose, entered by Elijah Stewart. Yes, and I saw his model on Flickr, I believe. Like, as I was finishing, or have just finished, my Blue Goose, I came across his, and I was like, oh my god, no, Blue Goose buddies, basically. And yeah, it's a gorgeous model that it's made. Joe Bloomfield, he's a fellow LUKR member. He has entered a few models. His 9F and his W1 in particular is amazing. So yesterday, when I was at the Steam Great Western Lego Show, Swindon, I met I met Joe Bloomfield, get the name right, in person for the first time, and I met him, and I saw his models at his table. And again, I was able to see his W1 in person. So I'm going to be able to see him next weekend as well, which is something else I need to get onto. So I'll leave that for them. The Mercury by Coach Christopher. I've seen this model on Flickr before. Still an absolutely beautiful, amazing looking engine. There's my City of Truro, which is one of my best 8-wide models now. It went from a stinker to an absolute winner. It's interesting how there haven't been that many duplicates. There's my president. Oh yeah, so there it is. I've just come across it now. His W1 Hush Hush. Oh, it's such a beautiful model. Let me see if I can find the wagons here. So once again, there's the near the top, because it was one of the later submissions, the Daylight wagons. Where is this particular builder? Otherwise, I'll have to find him on Flickr otherwise. And I don't really want to do that. Here we go. Okay. So Hans Theinpont, or Theinpont, pardon you, Hans, for mispronouncing your name. But he does say AKA Bardock, so I think that's his username online. But he has entered a few of his wagons, coaches at least, and I think his and let me go find it on Flickr, because I may as well just share it, because to TLDR it, he entered his diesel and his coaches in my TLR awards, and it was right up until the judging panel process took place that, yeah, he was my winner for best locomotive. Again, for me to pick a diesel, heresy, me being anti-diesel, that whole joke meme thing, whatever. But it's so beautiful. I'm gonna have to post this on the. I'm gonna post it in chat and in the Discord server. Here we go, because he has now added 2 more coaches. So his consist is the diesel itself with the B unit, and now 4 coaches. Oh my god, this is so good. Okay, right. I will post it in chat. Union Pacific Fan 1404. Good to see you. 1404. I got that backwards. 4014. Oh, my brain is really going down the drain today. So there it is. It's linked in chat. I'm going to get it posted in the Discord server as well, because, again, these are some beautiful models. And apparently this is a custom consist. I think the models, like the coaches and the engine itself, have a real life basis. But with the research that I was able to do, at least the livery and the naming behind it is all custom. Like, this is basically his work, and it's just amazing what he's been able to do with it. So if I mark that one there, I'm going to post it in train mocks. There we go. So I'll just post that there. I'm going to pin that as well, because I am very much in love with it. So yeah, so again, posted in the chat, as well as posted here in Discord. Right. He'd be my winner anyways. But looking at best TFO entries, Again, you can be really surprised what teenage fans of Lego can really do. There have been some interesting models. Um, I think I'll just scroll through them here. There's apparently a Union Pacific big boy made by a T4, and it's very difficult to. This is the problem. That I don't think I had this issue, but something like here, you could very much go, did a T4 actually make this? Because there's moments where you can be genuinely surprised that someone in their teen years can make a model. Again, like this Yellowstone, that seems more believable because it's ultimately less detailed. It's still a massive, beautiful engine, but there's less busyness going on with it. The Yellowstone made by Elijah Stewart as well, so that's pretty good. And yeah, it's just one of those moments where you think, is someone entering best TFOL just because they can find a way to cheat the system? The three LNER locomotives, the A3, the A4, and the P2 by Joshua Narciso. I love his work as well. They're 6-widers, but they're still beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Love to see them. Some of these people you kind of know as well, in the sense that, okay, I've talked with this person online. Yes, he's actually a TFO, so that's cool. Edward Flynn with his Merchant Navy class, he surprised us as well when he entered the LUKR Awards at the start of the year. And there's a very particular TFO called Seth Bricht who has entered a couple of models. Definitely some interesting work from this guy. Seth, are you still here? Sound off. So yeah, there are. If I had to try and pick one from every category, we'll be here for the rest of the night. But some amazing stuff has come through. I don't think I'm going to win any of them because, again, I never win anyways. But yeah, great to see the Brick Train Awards are still going strong. You hear good things about that Seth Bricks guy, do you? Yeah, apparently I hear he's dodgy. Oh dear, he builds digital. Can't have that in my world. Anyway, let's talk about something new. Oh, my eyes. Me eyes, Dick. Me eyes. Right, I need a new drink. There we go. Let me just conjure my fresh new drink. Ah, lovely baths. Right. Yesterday, and technically today, in Swindon, was the Great Western Lego Show. I went there yesterday and had a grand old time. They put off the show in 2020 and 2021 because of the pandemic. They could have done it last year, probably, but it's understandable that they were hesitant to do so because it's a big, big Lego show. And with how many people are coming and going, it probably wouldn't have helped if COVID began to spread a little bit more, given the venue size. The burp juice does return. Oh, yes, of course it does. And coming back to it this year was so cool. And the best thing about it, there was so much Lego Train stuff there. Again, my club, the LUKR. So I'm pointing to the club T-shirt basically. They were there, and as soon as I saw them, we recognized each other straight away. Amazingly, I decided to wear a club T-shirt and jumper. So if I went behind the table, I would basically look like the rest of them. And I also brought my Coronation Scots and 3 of the coaches to run on their group layout. And I was able to get a bit of footage of that too. So all of the footage I was able to get from the show yesterday is now compiled into a vlog. That will be going out tomorrow, which is very exciting because the Great Western Lego Show is a reliably brilliant show. So much fun. And it was so good to see some more Lego trains there because 2018 and 19, it was really scarce when it came to anything railway related. You know, the fact that it's taking place in what is basically now a former locomotive factory, now locomotive museum for the Great Western, in the beating heart of the Great Western as well. Swindon is the home of the Great Western Railway. And they only had 1 or 2 train displays over the past few years. This year it was a return to form. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But the highlight for me yesterday was I met a Lego YouTuber called High Tea Toys. I was introduced to her YouTube channel at the start of the year, It was New Year's Day. I went into town to line up at the Lego store. I met some lug mates, and I was standing with one of them, and he says to me, "I think I recognize the person at the front of the queue." And he goes, "Yeah, I think He he gets out his phone and looks up the YouTube channel. Basically, kind of looks up and down a few times, confirms the person who's at the front, shows me her channel. I'm like, yeah, she looks really good. She's got some good videos going, and yeah, I'll subscribe. Been subscribed to her for what's it? Last it's basically 10 months now, like 10 months to the day, because it was New Year's when I was introduced to the channel. Did some well when I say did some research, I basically watched some of her YouTube videos, and yeah, she's such a lovely person. Met her yesterday. I saw this is the best thing because you have in order to get for the Swindon show, you have to go through the museum, and there's the big exhibition hall at the end. So picture it this way: so you got the building here. You go through the entrance. You have to go all the way around. That's where the museum is, and the hall where the Lego show is taking place is right here. You go through the hall, you exit the hall, then you can exit the building. So as we were going around, she was in front of me, and I thought to myself, "Oh my god, I recognize her. I know who she is." I don't want to say anything now because we're not even at the Lego bit yet. It's going to be too awkward. So I gave it some time, spoke to the LUKR guys, said hello to them, had a bit of fun, and kind of hastily finished up and went off because I didn't know how long she was going to be around for. So I was able to bump into her. I was able to say hello. I had a quick chat with her. She's so delightful. If you haven't at least seen her channel, go to the post on my community tab. Follow her channel link in the description. Just give her a watch. She is such a wonderful person. She's so delightful. And yeah, meeting her was just the best because I thought to myself, there's so many people at that show that I know as well. Again, people from my lug were there, people from the LUKR were there. I was meeting and chatting with over a dozen people, maybe even 2 dozen, because half of them were at the LUKR's main club layout. So yeah, it was just the best. It was just the best. I took a picture with High Tea Toys, and oh, there it is. Well, there we go, Seth. We made it. And basically, I say hello to her, we have a chat, we take a picture. She goes off to do her own thing again. I see my dad coming up to me and say, "Who did you take a picture with?" I was like, "Oh my god, just a bit like a YouTuber." I'm there, kind of collapsing a little bit, you know. Oh, but it was so much fun. It was incredible. Like, what a day that was. Right, let's have a look at chat because I can see it going. Uni Pacific Fan says, "Have you checked out my camouflage locomotive yet?" Not yet. If you've posted it on Discord, I will have a look later on. Or I haven't been able to check it out because the camouflage is so good. Like I said yesterday, maybe. Josh says, "There's a museum in my state. There used to be an old train station. It's not a train station museum, though." Oh, they just used the building for something else. Well, I suppose it's in an area that's just no longer active with railways. You're repurposing the building, I suppose. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. Railway preservation is not the easiest thing. Seth says, "There was a Lego train show in my local city, but there were no mocks, just sets. The only mock was one of those typical models made in about 5 minutes and called done." Oh, that's a bit of a shame. What were the displays like then? If you're saying it's all sets, were there no layouts? Was it just loops of track? That couldn't have been a big show then, if it was just sets, you know. And RK says, "Luke, have you thought about making a railway crane or a breakdown crane?" And I think you said this in chat earlier. Yes, you did. Apologies for ignoring it, but I think I have thought about making one. Yes, but I think I'm too if I'm gonna make a crane, it has to be a functional crane, even if it is simple enough. I do technically have one in the 2018 City cargo train set. One of the 3 wagons was a crane, and I expanded it a little to basically be my own version of a crane. Again, it's still very simple, and I do technically still have it. But just thinking as well, there was a Lego City earlier in the year. There was a Lego City what would you get, like a mobile crane, I think it's called. Basically a big lorry crane with its own crane arm. I bought that to use for an old version of the home layout. I think where have I put the crane? Is it down there? I think I can see it. Ah, yes. Okay, so there we go. I've got the crane. So I reckon this will be a good starting point to make a crane, because after all, it does have string, it does still function and work. I might also try and combine this with the crane from the old city set that I mentioned earlier, because, you know, two cranes is better than one. I don't know how detailed I'm going to make it, but I could make one in the future. Again, I haven't been particularly inspired to make one, and the problem is, if I'm going to have my layouts set up properly, then I want it to be passenger focused, which means no goods yard, no cranes, no not green sections, basically. I'm going to put that back down there. So yeah, making a crane, again, not impossible, but not quite my thing. So yeah, we need more breakdown cranes in the Lego train community. Yeah, we could definitely do a push for something. The community challenge and showcase, I could do a crane theme one day, push for that. On the Lego Rail Facebook group, we can try and push for it on there, because that basically has 10,000 members. Seth says it was like a model / Lego train show, but the Lego city itself was a bunch of creator city building with track around the outside. Something's better than nothing, I suppose. It wasn't a bland loop, so fair enough to them. And, you know, if they're casual, you know, they just want to display sets, it's not the end of the world. I don't think that's too bad. It's not a dedicated Lego show either. You're saying it's model / Lego, so yeah, fair enough. Just looked the museum up. I was wrong. It's one state over, but still interesting. Okay. I built 2 cranes to lift my engines. It's mostly doable because they're 6 wide. Yeah, I think smaller engines definitely are way more viable to be lifted up by smaller cranes. I would definitely have to... you know what, that actually reminds me. One of the layout segments I've made, the second shed, has an overhead crane. It's weak because it was a very small, simple one. But let me put it to you this way. The models I'm looking at down there, they're going to need some thick, heavy cranes. Yeah, the little rinky-dink one that I showed earlier, that's getting nothing done. Gantry cranes, yes, that is the word, thank you. But yeah, gantry cranes are absolutely the way to go, because they're just cooler. You know, it's part of a building. You know, that's the best thing about them. If I was going to make a crane, I think I'd actually do it that way. So technically, I have done it, but if I was going to make more or expand upon that one, it's going to be in that style, gantry style. UP fan says, I plan on making a big boy soon. So yes, I suppose so. I mean, given your username, I think it's about time. There are a lot of big boys out there. A few were entered in the Brick Train Awards as well. There is a knockoff brand big boy set. Someone, I think it was was it in my Discord server or was it on Facebook? But basically, someone found one on Amazon for about $200, and he built it up and said it was a really good set. So maybe buy that and start from there. You know, it's an intimidating model to want to make. I remember when I made one, must have been 3 years ago now. It was one of the later giants. But yeah, I mean, bravo on you, bravo on you to want to make one in the first place, because it's one of the more popular models to want to make, but it's also very intimidating. Plus, it's a step in the right direction for giants. Oh yeah, we need more giants. I saw at the Lego store has re-released one of the old Lego spaceships. Really? How old are we talking though? Like official Lego store as well? Back to UP, who says, also, I've built a crane train before. It was Lego, of course. What was the? I'm trying to think if I saw it. I think I saw it. Maybe you posted it in Discord, or is something I saw on your YouTube channel. I can't remember, or I'm probably misremembering it with someone. I'll tell you what. Speaking of cranes, in tomorrow's vlog, and basically at the Swindon show yesterday, you will see Andrew Harvey's small crane tank engine that he made in action, functioning properly. It was the best. It was a really cool thing to see. Basically, Harvey in real life. Oh, it was the anniversary ship. Well, that's fine then. Skippy on Discord, was it? Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I was going to ask, will we see road vehicles theme for Community Challenge? First of all, Community Challenge and Showcase, so you need to put the and symbol and the S going forwards. I think I had to permanently amend the name because a lot of people kept on saying, is it a competition? I was like, no, it's not a competition, it's a showcase. So I had to put Showcase in the title. Secondly, road vehicles will never be a theme. It will always be railway themed. I don't see a reason to want to do road vehicles because nobody is subscribed to me for road vehicles. They're here for trains. So if I do a theme that isn't railway, or at least not obviously railway related, then it's going to be very daft because people will probably enter something completely unrelated. I'll have to say to them, no, I can't accept that because it's not railway themed. Why is it railway themed when you've got road vehicles? And so on, so on. You know, not the best thing ever. I think I'll make it 8 studs wide. If I have to, 10 wide. I think you should make it 10 studs wide. I made my big boy at 8 studs wide, and it looked alright. But because it's the biggest engine ever, I think a 10 wide version would look insane. Like, in a good way, though. I'm just thinking, because, again, I'm thinking back to when I made mine. Again, it was 8 wide, it wasn't the best thing ever. Very happy with how it turned out, but, yeah, I don't think 8 wide suits it. Because Tony Sava, who doesn't post too often, but a lot of people will probably recognize the name. He built an Allegheny, which is a 2666, and that is 10 studs wide. He also made a Yellowstone, which I think is a 2884, and that was 9 studs wide. For locomotives that big, I think it definitely suits being 9 or 10 studs wide. I remember seeing that post as well where he announced, yeah, it's 9 studs wide. I was like, 9? Like, 6 wide is entry, 7 wide is British, 8 wide is American, 10 wide for Giants, but 9 wide? 9? This is just a weird choice to go for, but if it works, then sure. So, yeah. I think going 9 or 10 wide, it definitely suits it. So again, looking at what I've got down there, that's 8 wide. But given the overall proportions, that makes sense. Tony's Pennsylvania Railroad T1, that is 8 studs wide. But given it's not that long, an 8 wide version of that model works compared to his Yellowstone, which is 9 wide, which demands that extra width to work better. And of course, his Allegheny at 10 wide because it's an absolute unit. It would be my first 10 stud wide build. I've never built 10 wide, so I can't give too many suggestions there. But I will say to you now, build it 10 wide. Go all in. Even if it takes you 6 months to build, all in for it. 10 wide, as much detail as you can get in as possible. Again, even if you have to go weeks without being able to build any of it because you can't afford any of the parts, I don't know. But this could be potentially your... What's the word? What's the right word to use it? Basically the face of your railway. Where the Coronation Scot is now the kind of face of my railway. Because you're a Union Pacific fan, 4014, a 10 wide big boy would be perfect to go along with that. Again, an all-in model. I have faith in you. You can do it. Go on. I really want to see this. Okay, then. So, there is one more thing I need to talk about. So, last weekend, or this weekend, I should say, was the Great Western Lego Show in Swindon. met some club mates, had a good time. I mentioned this earlier. Next weekend is the LUKR club members get together. It's now an annual thing because we're members from a club that's scattered all across the UK. But coming together once a year to kind of show our creations off to each other and just have a grand old time. I'm going to be bringing the entire layout. Hopefully, I can get things arranged where I can get the whole thing together. I've been able to talk with the appropriate members in regards to the table space and the floor plan. It should work, but I don't really know what's going to happen exactly until I get there next weekend. So yeah, it's going to be very cool, very exciting to be able to get the whole thing together. Again, it's going to be an absolutely grand time. I'm really looking forward to next weekend. I'm going to be getting a lot of footage of models on the run. I'm going to be getting some footage of other members' displays as well. It's going to be, again, just the best time ever. And I believe it was let's have a look. Yes, the 19th and 20th of November is the Bristol Brick Show. So that will be the other opportunity I have to get most of my layout together. So at the moment, this is a 10 table display. For Bristol Brick Show, so far I've been granted 8 tables. Chances are I'll probably be granted 6, but I'm waiting on that announcement. For now, I'm going off the basis that I have 8, which is a good thing because that means more layout to play with. But yeah, the frustrating thing there is because of how massive that show is going to be, it was the best opportunity for me to get the whole thing together. So 19th and 20th of November is Bristol Brick Show. That's my next proper show. Next weekend, it's just a members meet. It's not a public thing. But Bristol Brick Show, that's the big one all year round, basically. So, yeah. Really looking for... Sorry, I got a weird spot on my lip there. But yeah, we should be all good. Arcades, thank you so much for sticking around for as long as you have. That's okay, because I'm about to end the stream and head off anyways. So, we did overrun just a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. Yes, so again, a new video coming out tomorrow for the Great Western Lego Show vlog. It's all Lego Train focused, so hopefully that should get plenty of attention. I didn't really put too much focus on the displays there that weren't railway themed. It's a bit of a shame for me to say that because, again, everything there was really wonderful. But at the same time, I know what I wanted to focus more on. And hopefully you all enjoy that vlog as well. I'm going to try and film the Blue Goose video whilst I'm getting other stuff done this week. I'm really hoping I can get another video out. Like, so tomorrow is going to be the vlog, and then between tomorrow and the weekend, I'm going to try and get another video out. Maybe. Don't quote me on anything because I really don't know how well this is going to go. But all the same, I am very excited for things that are going to be coming out because it's basically the culmination of a couple of projects. Again, the Blue Goose is almost done. Well, the set itself is done. I need to do the box because I'm doing an all-in review. 2 new models of which I'm very excited to showcase. And this means something big. Giant, if you will. So yeah. Lots to look forward to, and hopefully we can get things going smoothly. So, with my lungs now feeling like they're about to burst, let's end the stream here. So, if you are not a member of my Discord server already, then consider joining, which is linked at the top of the description. It is the home of some of my bigger fans, and they are like-minded fans of Lego Trains and Nerf Blasters. There's always a conversation going on in the server, so if you want to interact with me and other people, then consider joining. Also, links down in the description is my Flickr page and my Instagram page. I've posted something really big across all of my socials about an hour and a half ago. So if you want to see what I've been up to recently, then consider following me on both Flickr and on Instagram. Make sure you're keeping an eye out on my community tab for polls and updates. Thank you all ever so much for watching. I shall see you all in the next episode. Take care, everybody. I'll see you soon.